So, have you ever had a police car follow you and you've had that sinking feeling and you've had massive anxiety and your nervous system spikes and you go absolutely crazy? You watch your speedometer, you're so careful. I want you to know when that happens, that is your inner child. And I want to explain to you in this video why that is happening because that is your childhood trauma at play. So, why is that happening? So when you do have that police car behind you, or you see the police, or you see somebody in authority, you're feeling that way around authority figures because you would have grown up with people that could have been explosive, controlling, manipulative, or could have made you feel very, very small. And what happens when we meet people in authority, all of a sudden we shrink back and we become a child. Is that you? Do you all of a sudden have a meeting with somebody and you really panic and you're like, oh my God, like what if? But you go to the worst possible thing. That is really common. And I worked with a client a couple of weeks ago and she was like, Kel, I don't know what it is, but whenever I meet somebody in authority, or I've got to write a letter to a teacher, or I've got to go somewhere with like a doctor or something, she goes, I turn into this small, tiny little girl and I'm so meek, I don't have a voice, I'm not able to say that. Is that you? Because if that is you, I promise you, that is 4-year-old you being taken back to a moment in time. And that's where I come in because I'm that person that can help you start to make your inner child feel safe because that's what they need. So if you did grow up in unpredictable behavior, and that would have been like maybe dad was explosive, or maybe, I don't know, mum was an alcoholic, or there was something. But if you grew up in uncertainty, your nervous system is wired to expect uncertainty, and you that will continue no matter what you do, no matter what anxiety practice. Your inner child is holding on to that moment in time. And I've always said this, when it comes to our inner child work, we don't always need to go back to our earliest time. Sometimes we just need to deal with the strongest energetic charge in our system, and we can do that by asking our higher self for support. And I've made a previous video, and I'll link it just up here for you, all around how you work with anxiety, and that the anxiety you feel is that of your inner child. So if you did grow up like that, and you do have that sinking feeling of, oh my God, like what is going to happen? Something is happening. That is your nervous system spiking. So things that are going to really help your nervous system that have personally helped me, I've done a huge amount of EFT and tapping. I do my own version of somatic tapping release work, which I teach people in my sessions. And what I also have found massively has helped me in terms of regulating my own nervous system has been breath work. That has been phenomenal. And I also every single day do my own grounding practice. That's where I'm on my mat, that's where I am really present, and I do something which we call in masculine work reflection. So I do a masculine reflection grounding practice every single morning, and that allows me to get very present in my body. And when we start to make our inner child feel really safe, and safety is the key here. I want you to think about whenever you have that cop car following you or something, are you not feeling incredibly unsafe in your body? Are you not feeling that whole, what if he pulls me over? Oh my God, what if he tells me off? Does this ring true? Tell me that this video is really landing and you're going, oh my God, Kel, yeah. So what I want you to know is, yes, it is important you regulate your nervous system, but before you're able to regulate your nervous system, what is really important, you make your inner child feel safe. The way to make your inner child feel safe is through consistently being with them. That doesn't have to be every single day, but for me personally, I check in with my own inner child every single morning. So every single morning I take my dogs for a 90-minute to 2-hour dog walk. And on that walk, I am present with my inner child. I check in with her. I also check in with other parts of me, like 14-year-old me, 17-year-old me, 22-year-old me, because I do parts work. I'm a parts specialist. But because I do that every single day, my inner child is okay. And a recent example I'll give you is I used to panic like crazy about the police being involved and called. And I had a great trigger several times from someone in my life who really made me aware of my panic around authority figures, specifically the police. But yet, very recently, I left the cinema and it was late at night and I had a cop car follow me and I was okay. I was like, oh my God, like I didn't watch my speedometer, I was cool. I just literally drove and I realised that for the first time in as long as I can remember, I don't have that fear of authority figures. And I was recently chatting to a judge in the sauna that I go to. And usually, honestly, in the past, I've always gone really small. Is that you? As soon as you hear what someone does, like, when you're in a pub or something and someone goes, oh, they're a copper, do you not all of a sudden change? But once you've regulated your nervous system and you feel really relaxed and your inner child is happy inside of you, and you can see that, you'll know when you meet someone who has a really happy inner child because they're joyful, they're passionate, and they're quite playful. But when you do have that inner child inside of you that is feeling incredibly safe, that's when it won't matter. It won't matter what somebody does for a living. You won't change your behaviour. And I was talking to one of the commissioners who works like in Derby Council, and I didn't even know that's what she did for a living. And I was chatting to her in the sauna very recently, and my body though didn't change when I found out what she did for a living. But me before I had healed my inner child, and probably you, I'd have been like, oh my God, like what am I doing talking to this person? But can you see from this video that actually your panic around authority figures, that stems back to your childhood. That stems back to the uncertainty and the unpredictability. And the whole overriding theme of this video, it's the safety, right? Because you will keep attracting these authority figures into your life because ultimately your inner child is saying, hey, I feel scared. And how we help a scared inner child is through showing up on a regular basis by making them feel safe. We say things to them like, I've got you. There's a great difference between working with your inner child and your inner boy. Your inner boy just needs you to stand beside him. And I made a very recent video around the fact that we have an inner boy and we have an inner child. Regardless of who we are, masculine and feminine energies or gender. So just know when you're doing that key work of showing up consistently, you're teaching your inner child that no matter what happens, you've got them. So some great things we can say is, I'm here now. I've got you. And the one key takeaway I want you to take away from this video is when you have spent time with your inner child, specifically if you have problems around authority figures like the police, etc., I want you to let your inner child know when you're going to see them again. You do that one key thing and you show up and you deliver on your promise day in, day out, you are massively going to change everything. And once your inner child feels safe, then you can do the reparenting. When you do the reparenting, then you regulate your nervous system. And once your nervous system is regulated like me, you will meet people in authority and you'll be totally okay. And like I said, able to have cop cars behind me now. I don't worry when I see the police, but I'm telling you, for most of my life, I have been scared stiff of authority figures. So just know that if you've clicked on this video, I really hope that you take away that safety for your inner child is how you will heal your fear of authority figures, especially those people that, you see as higher above you or whatever. And just remember, it all starts in childhood, and that's why you see me. Anyway, subscribe for more of my content. I've got loads of stuff that's going to really, really help you. I've got a gorgeous playlist up here, all about how you can work with your inner child in various ways, and I hope my content helps. What was your key takeaway? I'd love to know that. All right, cheers, take care, ta-da, bye-bye.